Washington, USC game. So this is a top 20 matchup. College football playoff rankings come out. We know Washington is number 5. USC comes in at number 20 despite those 2 losses. Washington, a 3.5-point road favorite. The over-under 76.5. 2 notes on that. 1, the number has actually come down. Washington open as a 5-point favorite. It's down to 3.5 as I record here. And 2, that 76.5, the highest over-under win total of the year. And what's interesting, 2 programs at a very interesting point going into this game. Washington, listen, great win against Oregon 3 weeks ago, right? Unbelievable win, unbelievable moment, great time, great college football atmosphere. Washington hasn't been a very good football team ever since. Beat Arizona State the following week 16-7. Only touchdown they score is on a pick 6, which basically seals the game. Now the weather was bad, whatever. You give Washington a pass. Last week, they played Stanford and easily could have lost that one. They win 43-34, but it was a game where they were outgained. And on top of that, not only were they outgained, but they only led 28-26 going into the fourth quarter. So even though it's a 9-point win, it was a close game late. And I do think it is worth noting, Washington, 3 straight games. The other team has actually outgained them going in. From the USC side, last week against Cal was a doozy, wasn't it? Listen, I don't know how many you get Pac-12 Network, but it was funny. So I'll say this, right? So a buddy of mine works for me, Jake Fagus. Maybe you've read his work at Aaron Torres Online. He is a West Coast guy, Pac-12 guy, if such a thing will exist beyond this year. And he texted me midway through the second quarter. He goes, Torres, are you watching this? This is a debacle. And I turned it on. I do have Pac-12 Network. I'm the only one, but whatever. Turn it on. USC is trailing 28-17 at that point. And I bring it up because the game, it was completely out of hand. And this felt like the moment, oh my God, it's all going to come crashing down, right? We know the narrative. 2-game losing streak. People are saying Caleb Williams should opt out. People are saying that Lincoln Riley is flirting with the NFL. This is where it all falls apart. If you didn't watch the game, there was some shenanigans at the end of halftime. USC gets into the red zone, clock expires. They're trailing 28-17 again. The refs realize at halftime that there should have been a second left on the clock. USC, before the second half, comes out of the locker room, lines up to kick a field goal, misses the field goal. So they're trailing anyway, miss a field goal. And I actually give USC a lot of credit for bouncing back and winning that game. They end up winning 50-49. On top of that, on top of the missed field goal, there was 2 2-point conversions they had to go to because their kicker was just missing PATs left and right. But I give them credit for bouncing back. I know when you give up 49 points, you're not supposed to get credit. I actually thought they showed a little resilience because, like I said, halftime of that game, I thought, oh, this is over. Caleb Williams is checked out. Lincoln Riley is checked out. The team is checked out, whatever. And so when I think about this game going forward, first of all, I want to give USC a little bit credit. I thought they showed heart and resilience in a way that I did not think that they had coming out of that game. I truly mean that. This isn't hyperbole. It isn't a joke. If you watch that game, it was just, they could have quit easily at halftime and instead kept fighting, instead rallied to win. And I'll also add, the defense, listen, I'm not here to hand out participation trophies. I thought they actually played reasonably well in the second half. Now, they're still not well coached. They still give up way too many yards, way too many points, way too many touchdowns, way too undisciplined, too many penalties. But second half, they did force 3 punts and have 2 turnovers. And I will say, last year, remember that USC defense was a turnover forcing machine. Last week, they forced 4. The week before, they forced another one. I wonder if they're starting to get a little bit of that mojo back. So I bring it up because as far as this game's concerned, I'm calling for the upset. I like USC to win this game outright. I like USC to win this game outright because I think there's 2 things going on here. One, Washington is not playing very good football right now, okay? They're not playing very good football. They easily could have lost really the last 3 games going back to the Oregon game. As I said, even in the Oregon game, they were outgained. Then, of course, Arizona State and Stanford, neither of those teams are very good. And also, I'll add, the Washington defense is not good. 100th nationally in total defense. The offense is not clicking. And this USC team, I don't think has quit on the season yet. So it's not going to be pretty. USC is going to do some dumb things that drive you crazy. They'll probably have some terrible pursuit angles on defense. There will be some missed tackles. but I kind of like the vibe that I saw from them last week. I also don't think Washington outside of Oregon has seen an offense quite like this. And remember, the Washington win against Oregon was at home. This one's on the road. Final thought. For all of the scorn that USC got coming out of the Utah game, back-to-back losses, we all remember Emmanuel Acho, shut it down, Caleb Williams shouldn't be playing. Remember, USC has a lot to play for. If USC wins out, USC is going to play for the Pac-12 championship. Now, we'll see. I don't think that's going to happen. Their final three are Washington at home, at Oregon next week, and then UCLA. They do not actually play in the final weekend of the season. But I bring it up because everyone that said USC has nothing to play for, and I'm not going to lie, in the moment when they had that second loss, I thought the same thing. They could still win the Pac-12 title. I would also say one other thing. So I'm just going to say it. Caleb Williams is plus 8,000 right now in the Heisman Trophy odds. And I'm not going to lie. I may have made a futures bet on him at plus 10,000 earlier in the week. I don't think Caleb Williams is winning the Heisman Trophy. But if USC somehow runs the table, it will mean that Caleb Williams likely outdueled Bo Nix and outdueled Michael Penix, and obviously would have won 3 straight big-time games going down the home stretch. Now, to win the Heisman, he'd still probably have to beat either Washington or Oregon or somebody else at the Pac-12 championship game. But I just bring it up to say, I'm not telling you how to spend your money. That's one thing I never do here. I give you my picks. I give you my predictions. But DraftKings plus 8,000 for Caleb Williams? It's kind of interesting. What USC to win, by the way. I'll say 41-38. I'm not going to mess with that over, even though I think the over probably hits. 41-38 sounds about right. USC wins. I like the Trojans.